And welcome back to Worst to Best. Sorry. You got a little distracted here. Worst to Best. And this is one that is in between. Well, honestly, I have other suggestions, but I have to watch the series to really get a good idea for those suggestions. But this is one that is similar to. I might just go through all the Kevin Smith movies at some point. Uh, Mallrats, where I'm like, I remember this movie and I like this movie a lot, but when I look back on the movie, a couple of the characters rubbed me the wrong way and for different reasons. So today we'll be looking at the worst and best characters from the movie Chasing Amy. Now, to be fair, when talking about the characters of Chasing Amy, we're really just talking about our main three cast right up here. We got, technically speaking, Amy isn't actually the name of the girl. Chasing Amy is actually about a story about an old girlfriend Silent Bob had at one point, and that's what, he'll always be he'll always be chasing Amy, figuratively. I can't actually remember what her character's name was. What was her character's name? I remember the name of the Chasing Amy. I believe I remember the name of the actress was, oh god, it's bugging me right now. Come on. Name of the actress was Joey Lauren Adams. That's right. Alyssa Jones. That's what her name was. Then you have Banky, who's Jason Lee, and you have Holden, who is Ben Affleck's character. They're really the big three we're going to be going over in this, because they're the central characters. Jay and Silent Bob are only there for a cameo scene. Alyssa's friends are only there for like one or two scenes. So we can really only look at these main characters. So instead of just keeping the best and the worst to the end to, not bury the plot, we will just be going from worst to best. Or should I say best to worst in this case. I think it's really just going best to worst now. And honestly, the best character in the entire movie is Jason Lee's character, is Banky. Now, why is Banky the best character in the movie? Well, honestly, when you look at it, all the characters' personalities are pretty fine, laid out, or a chain. Jason Lee's particularly is a lot of fun because he's a kid in an adult's body. He gets to be a comic illustrator, or at least a shader. That's what his job was. You're just tracing. It's more than that. That's what he's doing for his job, and he enjoys his job very much. Same with Ben Affleck. But furthermore, he plays into the joke with oh god, 1 second. What was the character's name? What was the character's name? Come on. Was it Dwight? Hooper X? Was that it? Yep, that's it. Hooper X. Plays into the joke with Hooper X. I love the Jaws scene with him and Amber, or Alyssa, I keep saying Amber. Alyssa, where they're just comparing their sexual events. And it's basically the scene in Jaws where they're comparing scars. He's like, I can't kick my neck that far because her dad came in and pulled me out and really messed my neck up. he's just fun, but also he's also the most honest among any of the characters in this movie. Like, he's never bullshitting to either Ben Affleck or to Joey's character. Because he's always telling the truth. Like, look, if you do this, things change between us. And not for the better. And if there's one area that he's a little iffy on, it is his relationship with Affleck. At points, he is probably the more juvenile of the two. But it's really just him used to something, and then a change comes that he wasn't prepared for. And he still tries to roll with the punches. Like when he finds them, sitting in bed together, or sleeping in bed together, he's shocked, and then he goes to talk to Ben Affleck, and he basically just said, or was it on the couch? I think it was on the couch. Sorry. He just looks at Ben Affleck, like, that things are gonna change. Look, just clean the fucking couch off so I can watch my cartoons. And it's like, look. It turns out he's actually a bit more mature than the other two. He really is when you think about it. Despite the way he's even like, I think we all need to have sleep together. It's like, look, and he just kisses Jason. He's like, okay. What the hell? It's like, all right, I'll do it. It's like, no, I'm not going to do it. Oh, thank God. It's like, he's trying to be accepting of it, but, Ben Affleck is being a bit of a douche, and we're going to get to that in just a second. So the silver medal for both the worst and the best character in the movie goes to Amy herself. Now, this is something that... What's the best way for me to put this? It's going to really go into when we talk about, obviously, Ben Affleck is the worst character. But it's really going to go into when we talk more about Affleck, is that the 90s had a way of writing gay and lesbian people, trans people, and writing it towards the quote unquote agenda. There was a stereotype involved. Now, Amy does float around that stereotype a little bit. In fact, she does almost rise above it for a lot of it. Like, she just acts like a cool girl. She honestly just acts like a cool person. The fact that she's gay really doesn't have, well, technically speaking, she's not gay. We know she's not gay because she admits she's not actually gay. She was bi and just ended up preferring women and just had been dating women for years, but she ultimately does end up with Ben Affleck. Now, in this day and age, let's be clear, I'm kind of thinking of that from the standpoint of a 90s perspective. A, grew up in the 90s, and B, that is when the movie's taking place. In today's modern society, we would just say, it doesn't matter. Why do we got to have labels and stuff? I understand that, but let's actually be clear. Labels are actually a big part of the movie, so we have to use it in that context. So, with Amy, she's someone who, I'll be honest, because I graded these guys on a couple categories. Graded them on their personality. Are they fun? And Amy's a lot more fun now going to Ben. Ben's honestly kind of the everyman who's a little closed-minded, but he's still a decent, okay guy to be around. Like, Amy's a fun girl to be around. You know, she's lively. She knows how to play pranks and stuff like that. She haggles a painting from a restaurant. But unfortunately, openness, she's able, obviously being who she is, her persuasion, sexually speaking, she's open to just about anything. But what really, Amy kind of pissed me off in the movie after a certain point. And the reason is, she's actually the least honest among all the three characters we're talking about today. Now, why am I saying that? Why am I saying she's the least honest? Well, she didn't technically lie about her sexuality to Ben Affleck. She just never freaking told him. And honestly, in this case, when they were dating, her gay friends completely abandoned her, which I could have put them on the list because, quite frankly, I hate that idea that, oh my God, another one bites the dust. Like, can't you be freaking happy for your friend? Yeah, I get it. She's not part of that community per se anymore. She's not flat out a lesbian like you thought, but she's still in the oh wow. Why can't LGBTQ? There we go. LGBTQ community. So, you know what? Screw you for being hypocrites. Honestly, you want to be happy with the people you're with, but the fact is, and you want to find happiness in your own circle, but when someone doesn't quite fit into the circle anymore, you just apparently abandon them. Like, no, screw you for that. No, that's not how that works. That's not cool at all. You're not really friends then. You're just friends because of necessity. But let's continue on from that. Is that okay? They abandoned her. Fine, he's dating her. But did she not think eventually, with how apparently promiscuous her past was, that he might learn about that? You can't use the excuse, you never freaking asked. I honestly, while ultimately Ben Affleck's character is wrong from the way he kind of treated the situation long term, and again, we'll talk about that, I think he was right to be upset about why she didn't tell him that. Like, because she pretty much lied about who she was. She had let on that she was just a girl a woman who just ended up, being attracted to women over men, but then was able to find an attraction in him, which ultimately, led to them in a relationship. But it turns out that wasn't the case at all. She'd already been with plenty of guys prior to that, and, she just decided not to tell him. Now, yeah, is that her prerogative not to tell him? Is that her choice? Absolutely, that was her choice not to tell him. But she should have known that would cause problems down the line unless she came clean about it. Had she come clean about that from the get, that instead of, oh no, I don't, for a while I was into men. Yeah, I was kind of like trying out men for a while, but I ultimately was more into women. But you changed me on that, and I guess thank you for that. If she had gone that route, they might have still ended up together at the end because she was more honest about it. Would have given more time to kind of reflect and be like, okay, yeah, I understand that you at one point were okay with men, and yeah, okay. So I think with Ben Affleck's character, he would have been able to process that better. But instead, she just decided not to tell him. And when he's kind of just poking the bear a little bit on the question, and she just goes, "I sucked his dick and fuck me. Is that what you want to hear?" It's like, yeah, he wanted the truth. Like, she's upset at him. Like, she's breaking down. And yeah, maybe it's hard for her to kind of admit to that. But at the same time, it's like, what did you expect was going to happen? Like, this was an unrealistic mindset she had. And one other thing that bothers me with her, and this is less about honesty and more of her just kind of being an ass, is when Ben Affleck, who's clearly not understanding the concept of a woman-woman relationship, is, asking her, how does it work? And it's like, well, so it's like, she talks about fingers and all that. And well, okay. And he's trying to explain how he believes sex works. Like, sex happens when penetration happens. And she just goes, emotional penetration? I'm like, okay, screw you on that. You know what he means. That doesn't freaking count. Come on. Now, I get it. There are other ways. Trust me, I'm a 30-year-old guy. There are other ways, women can have relationships with each other physically. So Ben Affleck is just being what's the term? Not stick in the mud. He's being I know the term and it's blanking on me. He is being he's a closed-minded individual because he's not open to the idea because he just doesn't understand how it works. So ultimately, yeah, Amy is both the silver medal for the best person because she is a good, fun-loving person who didn't mean anything by what she did, by the way. The fact is, she really wasn't trying to lie to him or anything like that. She never told him, and it bit her and him in the ass. But unfortunately, that really does hinder her as a character in my mind, at least in the top three. And then we get to the worst one. It is Holden, played by Ben Affleck. Now, and we'll just make him a little bigger. With his 90s. I sometimes rock that look. The goatee beard combo. Now, Holden suffers for a couple reasons. He suffers, honestly, because he's kind of the blandest of the personalities here. He's also the shittiest at the relationships he's in. Obviously, he's the one who messes up. What really struck the chord for me, though, is not the fact that, he was, he tried to have a relationship with her and it failed. That's not what bothers me. Like, when we first, and honestly, I can relate to how he would react to finding out the girl you're into is into other women. It's like, oh, yeah, and then he kind of, he ducked out and left early, and that's probably what I would have done. Probably would have, had a conversation, I probably would have been a little bit less blatantly depressed about it, but, I would have been like, okay, and then I would have left, and then she meets up with him and kind of calls him out for it. It's like, just make me feel more like a jackass and, more shitty. Thanks a lot for that, Amy. I get it. She was trying to be upbeat and uplifting. It's okay. Come on. Woo. But yeah. But the problem truly stems from after he finds out that she's not who he thought she was or not who she made herself out to be. And ultimately, how he handles things from there is quite frankly just real. Again, they're all written from a 90s perspective. I get it. But it's just so freaking, again, closed-minded, bullheaded, little macho. It's like, they took advantage of you. No, I took advantage of them. Like, he just can't get behind the concept of this. And, he has the conversation with Silent Bob. And again, I get it. He doesn't understand these things well. So the idea of trying to even the playing field by having all three of them sleep together, from a warped perspective, I get, but it's clear that the reason he's doing it is dumb. Like, she's even like, no, you don't want to do this. What if I act a different way with him? Or God forbid, what if I feel something for him that I don't feel for you? Which, come on, girl. Like, first off, really? That's on you then. Like, what the hell is wrong with you emotionally that if you're not, obviously she didn't want to do it, so I don't harp on that at all, but she's done that before. She's had threesomes or multiple sex partners at once before, so it's like, are you that insecure about your own emotions for him that you don't want to risk sleeping with someone else? If you are secure and this is a weird topic of conversation to go into, but if you are in a relationship with someone and you are secure with your emotions, but you want to have maybe a threesome or whatever, if you are secure with your emotions and how you love someone, that shouldn't be an issue. Because those kind of experiences should be about the experience and about the fun of the experience, as long as everyone's understanding of how this is playing down. That's what that should be like. I'm just waiting for the 13 to 17-year-old demographics that watch my programs. He's talking about threesomes. I should be taking notes. That's right, kids. This is today on TED Talk, threesomes and how to go about it. But yeah, that to me is just another like notch in the belt for her as a person, really, when I think about it. And honestly, I'm thinking about it even more because I look at how they scored. He was only one below her. Honestly, I'm looking at this now. I'm wondering if I maybe shouldn't have bumped him. But ultimately, it is his simple-minded way of going about it, and the lack of understanding how this is going to go down, that ultimately breaks them both up and hurts their relationship as a whole. Because I believe he doesn't even have he still kind of has a friendship with Jason Lee, but they don't work together anymore by the end of the film. And he talks about how he wants to be on like an even, he feels on like an even playing field. It's like, why does that matter? Look, again, putting myself in his shoes. If my girlfriend at the time, I found that out about her and she hadn't told me about that, I might have tried to do what he did a little bit. I probably would have been a bit more subtle about it. But whatever. And if she blew up on me about that, it's like, I'm the experimental girl. You have no right to. I would have been pissed off at him too. It's like, look, I don't care that you did that. I care that you lied to me about that. You made me believe this about you, when in actuality, that wasn't the case. So, yeah, I have no problem with the fact that he was upset that she lied to him. I have a problem with how he handled it afterwards. Honestly, what you do then is just talk to the person about it. Explain, you should have, look, I didn't care. You should have told me about that. And then, eventually work it out. That's how adults handle things. Instead, he's still kind of a man-child because he's clearly never experienced anything like this. So he says, "Oh, you know what? No, we're not going to talk about it. Let's all have sex with each other, and that will make everything okay." And I think that's what kind of pushed it over the line for me when it came to the morality of the characters and who I think is the best and worst character. I think Ben Affleck, because he's that immature still, pushed it over the edge for me. Amy's not, they're all good people. No one's evil in this movie or anything like that. Amy's definitely dishonest and needs to clearly work on how to communicate with people and be completely upfront about things, because otherwise that will bite you in the ass, as it so did. But ultimately, Ben Affleck's, I think his immaturity ultimately won out the day as the worst character. So again, just to go over, it's Jason Lee as the best character. Alyssa Jones as the best, second to best and second worst character, and Ben Affleck ultimately is the worst character in the three character lineup of Chasing Amy. Ultimately, though, who do you think is the worst and who do you think is the best? Who do you think falls in the middle? I think it's Amy. I think it's, I keep saying Amy. It's not Amy. It's Alyssa. Fuck it. We're calling her Amy now. Because Chasing Amy, whatever. Do you think it's Amy? You think it's Jason? Or do you think it's Ben? Joey's her actual name. Let me know in the comments below. But thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. As always, you want us to review something, put in the comments below. Let us know. We'll do a review at some point. So thanks for watching. I'll be back later with What If, that I didn't do yesterday just because I didn't feel like doing it, if I'm going to be honest. What If, and I got one other video I'm going to do because I got the day off and I got time to do some extra videos. So thanks for watching. See you next time. Later.